I'm going to go on right now. Hello, everyone. How are you? We are ready for today's podcast, College and Career Podcast. And today's topic, of course, is going to be first generation college students. This is such a dear subject for me because I am also a first generation student. My name is Carol Lopez, and I am the supervisor of college and career readiness and a first generation college student. And I have to say that I am super excited to hear, and this is Women's History Month, and we have a lot of women and young ladies coming on to talk to us about their experiences. But first of all, we have the amazing host who is here with us from College Money Methods, Paul Martin. So thank you for being here. He is our collaborative partner. We could not do this work without him. So I am going to pass it over to Paul, who's going to introduce everybody and give us the format of our talk today.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me. Actually going to pass it first to Ms. Green because she wants to talk a little bit about the amazing program Brace Cadets and introduce the cadets and the alumni cadets that are part of this panel.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Ms. Carol. Hey, everybody, here we are again, just to let you know that we, the team of the College and Career Readiness team, we love our Broward students. We are 100% their cheerleaders, looking to make every student successful. Our commitment is that there should be no child who graduates from our school system who is not prepared to succeed in life in some way or another, either through enrollment in college, exploring a career, enlisting in the Army, or taking a gap year, exploring as a gap year. So tonight we have this amazing panel of Brace Cadets and Brace Cadets alumni who will talk to us about what it's like to be a first generation college student or college bound student. And I myself was a first generation student. I left Jamaica. I'm from Jamaica. And I remember in February, it was a cold February, of course. We left Jamaica and went to Mishawaka, Indiana to go to college. And I was the first in my family to do any such thing. It was quite a culture shock, but I was so focused on my goals, I never missed a beat. And tonight we have an amazing panel that I'd like to introduce you to. Well, first of all, we want to thank Mr. Paul Martin for joining us. And he is with the College Money Method. And if you don't know about them, you could get more information at collegemoneymethod.com, where he works with students and families to help them get the best financial aid package to pay for college. He helps you to figure out what to apply for, lots of very practical help he offers. And he has a lot of private clients, so we're very grateful that he's with us tonight. So let me introduce our panel to you, and in the process tell you a little about Brace Cadets. So we have with us Huguette St. Hubert, who is an alumni from Stranahan, and she currently is enrolled at FAU. And she was, Huguette, we'd love to see you if possible. I can get off camera. She is a pioneer, history maker, Brace Cadet, and she's on a full scholarship currently at FAU. We also have with us Melitia Sutherland, who is currently a student at MacArthur High School, and she is just got an acceptance of University of Florida, but she's waiting for them to show her the money. And she's going to tell you some of her tips about what it's like to be a first gen and how to approach that. And then we also have another student, Maya Rami, who is a student at Nova, who also, we're so proud of her, got a full ride to Princeton University, and she's a first gen as well. All these students are Brace Cadets. And what are Brace Cadets? Brace Cadets are peer mentors who are trained in college and career readiness to help their peers to get ready for life after high school. We try to have one in every school, but their job is to help their peers, and they do projects in their schools and across the county. So I am going to turn it back over to Mr. Paul Martin now and this amazing team to help you understand more about how to succeed as a first gen. By the way, you know we have our Q&A, and you can, it's open right now. You can write your questions here, and we will be, I'll write the website for you, and we will answer these questions after a conversation Mr. Paul has with these students. Okay, I turn it over to you now, Mr. Paul Martin.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate this. And, you know, I am so honored to be part of this panel and to actually host this panel, because really we want to feature our stars, our rising stars, and our stars who are going to college for the first time within they're the first to go to college in their family. And part of the reason this is near and dear to my heart is that, in fact, I was a first generation student at County South. So I went to Miami-Dade public schools, and I was the first and ended up being the only one of my brothers to go to college. My father came from Puerto Rico when he was 14 and didn't even finish high school. But my family cared so much about education and really wanted me to be able to have that opportunity. And I know there are so many students across Broward County, including the students we have here tonight, that have the same situation, that maybe your parents didn't have the opportunity to go to college or to complete college or to complete a four-year degree, or your guardian, but nonetheless, they're there to support you because they know this is your dream. And we know, though, that being the first to go to college has certain challenges because we don't necessarily have parents who can give us every bit of advice that other students may be able to get from their parents who went to college, right? But that's what we're here to talk about tonight. It doesn't matter what your background is. What it matters is that you have a dream and that you are able to fulfill on that dream. And we really want to hear these individual stories because they're so inspiring. And I know each of you will learn so much from Huguette, Melitia, and from Maya, because they all have something to offer in terms of how they went about this process and want to give you tips in order for you to be successful. So let's get started. I'm going to be basically asking questions and allowing these amazing young women to give us advice, because I had a little bit of a preview before this, and we basically, I mean, the advice was just so fantastic. So I want to get started. tonight. So the first thing we're really interested in knowing, and I know a lot of students across Broward are interested in knowing, are what was the first time you kind of thought about college as an opportunity for you, and what did that look like? Like, what were your inspirations, and how did you go about that process of just starting to imagine yourself going to college? And what was that support system like? So I'm going to first ask you, do you mind sharing your experience with that?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Paul, for being here. And it's an honor for me to be on this panel as well. Well, I am from Haiti. I came to the US when I was 13 years old, and my parents always wanted me to get an education. That way I can pursue something and hopefully one day become successful. So when I was a freshman in high school, I used to see the different college tours, the different colleges come on campus to just give some flyers, tell us a little bit about their college, and see if we would be prospective students. And when I was in 9th grade, I took advantage of every opportunity. Although I wanted to be out of class, I went to the auditorium and just sat there and listened to them the entire time, what the requirements were, the college life, and how different student experiences were. And that's what motivated me at first. I said, well, I need a plan after high school and I need to pursue a career. Therefore, college will be the best possible route for me. And which is why ever since I started exploring, and now here I am at FAU pursuing a health science degree.
That's so inspiring. I had one follow-up question for you, if you don't mind staying on. I know one of the things that you had mentioned that you did early on was find your brace advisor. I think in 9th grade, is that right? Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, what was it like to start to really early in your high school career understand what those resources are at Broward schools?
Yeah, that's a great question. My brace advisor, I had to build a relationship with her like since 9th grade. And trust me, it wasn't easy because, you know, as a brace advisor, it's hard to focus on 9th graders, 10th graders because they're new to the process. But I was a go-getter. I said, yes, I'm going to learn about this process and start as early as possible. Although I was lost myself, I just took it one step at a time. And my brace advisor was amazing. She broke down every process for me. And starting at 9th grade, I was attending different college tours and I had business cards from different colleges here in Florida and out of state. So I was building my network at an early start, and that helped me a lot throughout the process.
That's fantastic. So inspiring, because it goes to show that, you know, a lot of times you don't know exactly where to start, but just get started is the motto, right? And get started as early as possible. So I appreciate you sharing that. Now I wanted to turn to Malitia. If you can share a little bit about your first ideas around possibility of going to college and what that looked like for you and how you kind of, you know, started that before or during high school.
Thank you. So when I entered high school, I was more into going into extracurricular activities, going into like club meetings and stuff like that. So I came across Black Student Union and I met a student in there who was a senior, and she introduced me to FAU Upper Bound Math and Science, which is a college get ready sort of program. And the person who was over it was my brace advisor for 9th through 10th and 11th and 12th grade. So that's when I got the idea of, okay, my brace advisor, she started introducing ideas of college and plans after school and things to plan ahead when you leave high school. So I was like, I'm pretty interested and I want to know what's the next step. So I started hanging around my brace advisor more, just as Huguette has said, and I got more informed on everything. And I was like, wow, like she had so much information about scholarships, financial aid, and everything. And she really helped through the process, guide me through the process as I spend after schools with her. I go to her during lunch where she has her door open or whenever she's available. But just know you have to be very consistent, as Huguette said, because they're really trying to focus on the 11th and 12th graders who are like at the point where they're trying to decide, do they want to do college or career technical? Like, it's up to you based on your choice and your decision.
Yeah, again, that's really inspiring to know that. I know you had shared as well that, you know, you were hyper focused, right, on athletics and extracurriculars, and you needed to figure out how to expand your focus. And it sounds like you did that really successfully, because congratulations on your acceptance to University of Florida, such a huge accomplishment.
Thank you.
Yeah, we look forward to hearing more from you about your expectations there. So I wanted to turn now to Maya, and you could share a little bit of your story on how you started to think about college and like the resources that you accessed early and the advice that you were able to get.
So I first started hearing about college when my older cousins got into 11th and 12th grade and they became upperclassmen, and I started hearing about dual enrollment. So when my mother found out about dual enrollment, she wanted me to start as early as possible. So I really looked into BC, and BC was all I really knew as far as colleges for a while. So after taking dual enrollment classes at BC, I started looking into other colleges, attending the college webinars that my brace advisor would put out, and I would really focus on just trying to learn about the other colleges out there. And I never really saw it as like something that it always seemed like something so far off for me, but it really became something that I would see for myself when I got into 10th grade and I was applying to be a Brace Cadet.
That's fantastic. So it sounds like you really got involved with Brace as one avenue to learn more. And so it's really important, like it sounds like you really, maybe you didn't have your parents go to college, right? But it sounded like you had other relatives, right? Friends that you were able to access with some knowledge base. If I remember you saying your cousins, right? Is that part of the story?
Yes.
Yeah. So, it's really important. I think the theme here is like, just getting started. We don't necessarily, as first gen students, have every resource available right away because we haven't grown up necessarily in a house where we have a lot of our parents being college going. But really the idea is to know that if college is a possibility for you and it's a thought that you have, to start today, right? Start talking to your brace advisor, even in 9th grade. Who would have thought, because you think, like you said, Maya, it sounds so far away, right? Everything's going to happen senior year. But in fact, a lot happens before then. And a lot that's happening is creating that mental mindset, right? So that you're ready and excited to be able to take on the challenge of applying to college, which was quite a bit. So let's now turn to senior year, because it's junior, senior year, because this is where a lot of that effort happens. And so I'm going to turn back to Huguette. If you can talk a little bit about, and offer advice to first-gen students on some real actionable things that you did during senior year that made you successful in both your, acceptance to FAU and other universities, but also clearly this amazing scholarship you get. And if you don't mind talking a little bit about that scholarship opportunity, that would be fantastic.
Of course. Well, in 9th grade, my goal was to attend college for free. I did not want to spend anything out of pocket to pay for tuition. And I must say that starting with the goal in mind helped me a lot, because I was able to map my 4 years in high school and see what steps that I needed to take in order to accomplish that goal. And fast forward to senior year, unfortunately, COVID messed it up for me a little bit, but I wanted to get involved, although COVID was surging. So I became a Brace Cadet, and I wanted to give back to the community. I wanted to motivate my peers to be on the same path, starting their application process, applying for scholarships, or finding out what they want to do after high school. And I must say that it was a very difficult process, trying to write essays on top of homework, on top of other extracurricular activities, and applying for scholarships. Sometimes I did not get every scholarship that I applied for. Some were longer than the others. Some did not have a specific requirement. Some were just open scholarship. But I took advantage of everything. I asked questions. I had a bunch of letters of recommendation set there, a bunch of different essay prompts ready to go. That way I was able to apply to different things and just have a tracker for myself. That way I knew by this date I will get an acceptance from this or not. And I was always open to rejections. that did not scare me at all because I knew persistence is key to success. So although I received some rejections, I was not discouraged by that. So by May of my senior year, I had applied to about 7 colleges, and unfortunately, I received an acceptance from all of them. So that was a big accomplishment. And after acceptance to college, I had to figure out how am I going to pay for this tuition and all the college expenses, because my goal was to attend college for free. So I found out about the amazing Kelly Strobe Scholars Program at FAU, which is tailored specifically to first-gen students who are pursuing or achieving well academically. So I was a little skeptical about it. Why? Because I had to record a video. That was part of the application process. I said no to myself several times, but I persisted and I applied to that scholarship program. And 2 months after, I was a recipient of the scholarship. Surprisingly enough, I had 2 other options in terms of financial aid from 2 other schools. And I said to myself, this is it. The school that is offering me more money is the school that I will pick. And FAU was offering me a full ride scholarship, tuition, room and board, meals, everything was included. So I picked FAU, and now I'm attending FAU.
Wow. I just typed to our co-panelists, like, so inspiring. I mean, truly amazing, because you do point out that there are going to be challenges along the way, and you need to build that resilience, right? You need to be ready. Yeah, thank you, for rejection potentially, because you're not going to be a fit for everyone, and everyone's not going to be a fit for you, right? So
exactly.
Amazing, your story about that, and you really do highlight something that I think it's going to come up again when we talk to our other co-contributors, is there are opportunities for first-gen students, not just in terms of admission, but money. You know, the state of Florida itself has a first-gen scholarship if you stay within Florida that you can apply for on top of Bright Futures. And, you know, I know Maya's going to talk about QuestBridge a little bit, because that is a program specifically geared towards first-gen. So, you know, there's something to be celebrated here. And I appreciate you telling us your story, because it's so inspiring to know that not only is it about getting that right college fit, but also getting that right financial fit, and being first in our families to go to college. What does it mean to be the first to create a new set of generational wealth, which is an important part of going to college, of course. So I want to turn over to Malitia, and if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit of your junior to senior year experience. You're currently in your senior year, so I know you're still going through it, but tell us a little bit about how you were successful being the first in your family and applying for school and thinking about the money piece of it too.
Yeah. So it's in junior year, I was doing the ACE program. The ACE program is basically where you take 7 classes and you have to pass them at the end of the year test with the E or higher, and you have to have 100 community service hours in order to qualify for Bright Futures. Bright Futures is the in-state, I guess you could say, full ride idea, where if you get Bright Futures, you have 100% tuition paid for you and a stipend check fee of like $300 for book fees and stuff like that. Well, that was the original way, whereas you would get that through SAT scores. So if your SAT score is like 1330, or you get a full ride, or 1220, you'll get 75% paid for. But the ACE program, which they offered at MacArthur High School my 10th grade year, they allowed you to get the 100% tuition fee without having to go through SAT, which the SAT scores, they're going higher and higher. So I had hopped onto that opportunity at MacArthur High School, and I ended up passing the 7 classes and getting, ER higher on the end of the year tests, and I gained my Bright Futures through that way. So that's how I went through like my junior year and my senior year, really taking my last tests, and then I got it. Well, and then when we go into like my junior year, really, I was really focusing on my personal essay portion, like my self-identity with describing like my hardships or how I want to give back to my community, because it takes a lot to write your personal essay, because your personal essay can be applied to any scholarship or they could be applied to like your college applications. And you really want the colleges to get a good sense of who you are as a person and what you're going to bring to the table for them and why they should accept you as a prospect student for their school. That's all.
No, that's fantastic. Two things I want to highlight. Actually, I know you talked about it from your story too, is bringing your full self to this process, right? Telling your story, whether it's via video or via essay or working the room. I know you talked about collecting cards early, like showing up and allowing yourself to shine because you want to make sure that you are noticed, right? And it's sometimes hard for us to do that, but it takes practice. And so I appreciate that point, as well as the fact that you had educated, I'm supposedly Mr. Financial Aid, you educated me about the ACE option at the ACE program option at some of our Broward high schools to earn bright futures without having to go through the testing hurdles that you're talking about, which we know for some first-gen students can be quite high, right? We don't have access to test prep. Our parents possibly, if you're a lower income, can't afford test prep. So there's going to be some, challenges maybe to scoring where you need to score for bright futures. But now there are options depending on your school. So thank you for highlighting that. And I'm so proud of you for finding that alternate track, right? And to getting the money you deserve. So just such an inspiring story. I really love it. So I want to finish up senior year, junior year, best practices or leading practices with Maya, and tell us a little bit about your experience and how you were able to navigate the actual college application process when it came down to having to apply senior year.
So when it came to junior and senior year, I knew that if I wanted to attend college that I would have to completely depend on scholarships. So I tried to have as many options as I could. So my first option was the ACE program, like Malitia was talking about. So when I found out about the ACE program in my 10th grade year, my school was introducing it in my following year. I decided to take 3 of the ACE classes to give myself a shot at earning the ACE diploma so that I could attend an in-state college. And I really wanted to go to FSU at that point, so the ACE program really worked for me. And then as I became a Brace Cadet and I started learning about the other scholarship foundations, it really opened up my options. So I began looking at Questbridge and the Posse Scholarship. So the application for the Posse Scholarship came first in my senior year, so that's what I was focused on first. And basically the Posse Scholarship, Posse Miami has a set of, I believe, 7 schools that they partner with to offer students in Miami and Broward scholarships to pay for their tuition to attend those schools. And the school that I wanted to go through to Posse was Syracuse. So I applied for Posse, went through the finalist rounds and the interviews for the school, and I was a finalist for Syracuse University. But then I had to consider my application for Questbridge and which opportunity would be the best for me. So I decided to go with Questbridge, and that actually worked out really well for me, as you can see from where I'm going now. So I applied for Questbridge, and I also took advantage of the College Essay Guys mentoring program. I applied to that, and they offered me a college advisor to basically read my essays and work through the entire college application process with me and keep me on track each week. And they offer that for low income and first generation students. So it really gives you an opportunity to have someone that's already been through the whole experience to help you through applying for colleges. And also Questbridge, if you're a part of if you're applying to the National College Match and we're a college prep scholar, Questbridge offers QuestCast and the national conference that they hold to allow you to speak to college representatives. And it's just been a really good experience my senior year. So although it was stressful, I feel like all of the stress was worth it in the end.
That's so great. Now, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit more I believe both Posse and QuestBridge are basically scholar programs focused for first gen and low income students. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, and just if there are students who are juniors this year or even sophomores, hopefully we got some middle school students here. What does that timeline look like, and how is it different than your potentially normal college application process?
So for QuestBridge, if you apply to be a QuestBridge College Prep Scholar right now, the QuestBridge National College Match applications opens up for you in July, and you're able to start applying for college all the way in July, and you find out if you get matched to the school that you wanted to go to or any of the schools that you ranked on your list if in December. So that's like before all the regular decisions come out. So it's like a weight lifted off your shoulder in the middle of your senior year. So how QuestBridge works is you can rank up to 12 of their 40 partner schools, and the top school that you rank that also accepts you is the one you go to. And it's like binding. So if you apply and rank schools through QuestBridge, you have to attend them. But it's a really good opportunity because they are full rides at most of their partner schools. And Posse starts, I believe, I don't want to like mess it up, but the Posse Scholarship application round, it's during the same time period as the QuestBridge one. So it's really like hard to pick which one you want to do if you're not sure that if you're gonna get both scholarships. So I would just apply for both, and while you're going through the application process and getting a feel for the schools that both programs offer, then you would make your decision. But I feel like both of them are a good process to start, and it's before the regular like college applications for every other school.
That's great, and I think that is the overall advice to hear from all three of you is that, you know, not only did you start just the discovery process, right, well before, like beginning of high school, even into middle school, but you started the application process well before senior year, right? At least laying it out and knowing what's available to you. And, you know, just wanted you to mention that, Maya, because to point out that, you know, if you are looking for, you know, some of these specialized scholar programs, I've even seen it at universities directly, like Emory University has a scholars program, et cetera. You know, those applications are invariably earlier than those regular college applications. And those are the ones, right, that provide the money that we're all looking for as first-gen students, right? Those full rides or full tuitions. Because you know, we know how important it is to be financially well in college and come out of college financially well, because we don't necessarily have families that can contribute much, if anything, to our college experience. So proud of all three of you for those accomplishments of not just getting into some of the best colleges and dream colleges, but also getting the money you deserve in order to be successful there. So the last topic I wanted to cover a little bit, and I'm going to start with you again because you're currently at FAU, is tell us a little bit about what it's like to be a first-gen student on campus, and like what does it look like for you on a day-to-day basis in terms of navigating college?
That's a great question. At FAU, fortunately, there is a large population of first-gen students, and it's very diverse. So the first resource I have is the Kelly Strobe Scholars Program, which provides me with a peer mentor, an academic advisor, a financial aid advisor, and other resources on campus, which means I have someone designated for everything that I need. And the program manager, which is basically our second mom, is there for us as well. So it's been amazing so far. The Office of First Generation Success has been really great in telling us what are the best strategies to be successful as a first gen. Seeing other first gen alumni succeed and see how we can be in their position someday. They have been pretty good in terms of academics, advising, and also encouraging us to get involved. I mean, without the First Gen office and seeing what others are doing, I would never be involved on campus. And in the spring, in January, a couple of First Gen students, a couple of my friends, we just launched a new club here at FAU called Girls Who Code College Loop. So basically just seeing how all first gen students have one mindset, which is to succeed, to be the first person in their families to prove that first gen students are capable. So we were able to launch that program in that club, and it's been going pretty well. And our goal is to attract other people that are not first gen students into the technological world. But other than that, it's been very, very supportive for me at FAU. It's been a great experience so far.
Thank you for sharing that. It is important to know that on any campus you go, there are going to be others like us, right, who are the first in their family to experience that. And it's so exciting. It can feel overwhelming at times. It can feel like a little bit like, what am I doing here? But at the same time, we have so many resources to turn to. And I'm really excited to hear that you have taken full advantage of those resources at FAU. I can tell you personally, there's a growing alumni network of first-gen alumni graduates from college that are trying to help and mentor first-gen students. And in that process, I was lucky enough to go to Harvard for my undergraduate, and I'm actually president of the first generation Harvard alumni, which means we are a bunch of alumni that are the first in our families to graduate college, period. And we had the privilege of going to Harvard. So we have a mentorship program back to first years coming to Harvard for the first time who are first gen. So looking for resources everywhere is really important when you get to college. And it sounds like you've done an amazing job at that, Huguette. So I'm really happy to hear that. And I know starting something new like that is also just so fantastic. And it's just such great news. So I want to turn to Malitia, and while you're not there yet, what are your hopes, dreams, and aspirations? Like, what are you expecting for college, and how do you plan to make the most of it?
Well, what I plan to make the most of is finding a program that fits me, because I think getting integrated into a school is based on, like, programs that you join that can help you boost yourself into the college and basically get you involved into school to see what does a university offer you and what can help you better pursue your career. So I definitely want to pursue nursing as my degree, but my end goal is definitely to be a nurse practitioner. So I'm looking to save every penny that I can when I'm going to the universities. As far as what I look forward to at the universities too, it would be, I would say, to get as involved as Huguette is saying with the programs and helping other first generation students as we stick together and go along into the process of completing and getting our degree and win, as Brace Cadets say it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, finding that fit, taking your time, right? Giving yourself that time to do that adjustment. It sounds like you already have that in mind, like knowing that you're going to take the most advantage of being on college campus and matching to that right program. And it sounds really exciting for your future. Wanted to wrap up with Maya. I know you're going away, quite far away, right? For the first time. So tell us a little bit about your expectations of going to Princeton and what you're planning to do to make the most of your college experience.
So I hope to do exactly like Malitia said, what Huguette is doing right now. I hope to find a community of people that are just like me, so I can have like kind of a home away from home that I can go to, even though it's somewhere so far away. And although I'm like nervous, and obviously because it's something new, I still like am excited for all the opportunities that the school provides, like the research opportunities, the different clubs, and just different people I'm going to be able to meet through going there. So I'm really excited. I hope to be able to come out of my shell and network with as much people as I can the time that I'm there, so I'm not like wasting any time. So I hope to like use my time wisely like Huguette is doing. So yeah, it's really inspiring to hear her talk about all that she's doing at FAU.
I have 100% confidence, Maya, that will be you, because you're here co-leading this workshop on first gen. So you're stepping out. I mean, we're all stepping out. Malitia, Huguette, all of us. I mean, that's what we have to do, is show up and tell our story, right? Because we're going to inspire others, whether it's on campus, whether it's back at Broward schools. There's so much opportunity that we know other first gen students have, and we want them to take most advantage of that and really achieve that. One other tip that I would like to add is when you all go to campus, I'm talking about everyone listening, is please, in that first semester, go find the financial aid office and create a relationship with them, because I just got muted. Can you guys hear me all right? It's important to know who those officers are, because things can come up. I will give you an example for myself. So when I was an undergraduate, my sophomore year, my father unfortunately had a stroke and became disabled. So I actually had to petition for more financial aid in order not to drop out of college. But it's because I knew the financial aid office and I knew who to turn to, and I advocated for myself, that right in the middle of the year, the middle of sophomore year, they increased my financial aid substantially in order to make up for that. So I really encourage it. You guys have spoken so well and eloquently about the importance of your financial wellness in college. And I know that you're well set because you've already pre-planned for that, but continue to build those relationships when you're in college with the financial aid office, or there are other resource offices. Some colleges have funds just for first gen students to go do a summer internship, right? Or to go and start a club, or to, buy their first computer. Find every possible, financial resource you have available to you to make the most of that college experience. So I'm really excited about that. And I think that, Ms. Green, I think this is it in terms of our prepared program. I don't know if there are any questions, or certainly you or Ms. Carol might have questions as well that have come up, but I know I'm really inspired, and I know that, this is just such an amazing opportunity to hear your successes, and I commend each of you for your achievements and your ability to be the first in your family to achieve your college dream.
Yeah, I say yay to all of this. Congratulations. You guys are real influencers. I want to just turn to our audience to find out, what grade level are you in if you're with us tonight, or if you're a parent, and what might be some of the questions you have. And while you're doing that, I want to ask our amazing influencers, were there anxieties or concerns that your parents had that you had to help them manage? Because sometimes parents get very anxious, or I don't know, were there concerns that your parents have that you have to help them negotiate and understand? Maya,
Yeah, I can start us
far
off.
away. Go ahead, Huguette.
I'm not too far away from home. I said too, it's not too far, but it was very hard to convince my parents to let me stay on campus, live on campus. And part of the requirement of the scholarship program is to live on campus. That way we get involved, we create our support system. And it was very hard. No matter what I told my dad, he said no. No. And it was stressful because I knew how important financial aid was as a first-gen student, and I knew that was one of the possible avenues that would lead me to a college degree. So I had to be convincing, I had to be persistent, I had to find a couple of other family members or teachers to support me in that process. Well, it was worth it at the end. It's sometimes they're still skeptical about, me staying on campus, but I guess communication is very important in that process. Keeping your parents updated with everything you're doing. They might understand certain things and they might not, because they have not gone through the same experience as you, but just communicate frequently with them and tell them how you're doing, because no matter what, family always comes first.
That's awesome. And I love the way that, parents are very protective. It's not that they don't want you to succeed. It's like they want to be the ones to take care of you forever. So Thank you for sharing that. We do have a couple other questions, but let's hear from Maya. You're going all the way to Princeton. What are some of the concerns your parents had?
I feel like they're more happy for me than more than they can express their concerns to me, at least. But I think they're really excited. My mom's just saying that she's going to miss me because I'm really close to my mom. So yeah, I feel like they're more excited than concerned. I think so.
That's awesome. And I know, Melitia, you haven't decided yet, but do your parents have concerns?
My parents are always concerned. So when it comes to distance, no matter what, they always have an issue with that. But even through going through like FAU Upper Bound and them taking us like different places, different states, they were okay because it was during a certain time period, like maybe 3 days would be away, but they know that you're coming back home. But 4 years off somewhere,
They want their babies. Well, I know that you're going to keep in touch with them and let them know you're safe. We have a couple questions here. Would a student need to make an appointment to receive brace advisement? No, you don't necessarily need an appointment. Here's what we suggest is that the student goes and introduces themselves to the brace advisor. There's a brace advisor in every school. Find their office and go meet with them and tell them about your aspirations and that you want their help. Do you know they want to help every student? And so it's not a burden for them and they're looking for students to help. Here's the other thing you can do. Ask your school, ask your brace advisor, who are the brace cadets? Because as I mentioned earlier, all these three ladies are, well, Huguette was a brace cadet, and brace cadets are trained. They go to an intensive summer training on college and career readiness to help their peers get ready. They run their own programs on scholarship, on the college application process. So they help the brace advisors as well. So everybody, your brace advisor should be your best friend. Yeah? Your very, very best friend. They should know your name. They should know what you're interested in because they get scholarship information. The more they know about you, the more they can send to you. So that's one. Let's go to the other one. I'm currently in 10th grade. I was wondering what the GPA of all the speakers was during their high school career. You wanna go with that first, Maya?
So I feel like I don't remember my GPA being consistent, but I remember it consistently moving up. I wouldn't like give an exact GPA because that's not the only thing that college admissions officers look at when they're looking at you as a person. But for your GPA, I would say to take advantage of everything that your school offers. For example, if your school is offering dual enrollment courses, I would say take those. Well, to an extent, as many as you can handle. If they're offering ACE classes, take those. If they're offering any APs, take them. And as many honors classes as you can take. So those all help boost your GPA even higher than a 4.0. So I would just take advantage of everything your school offers.
Awesome. Let's see. Any other tips? How about you, Hubert? And how you get?
I honestly do not remember my GPA from high school, but I know that it was not one of the main factors that helped me get scholarships. While some scholarship requirements were a little higher than others, but it is not one of the main factors that help you get into a great school or get a nice scholarship. It's more so of like, how authentic are you? How are you demonstrating yourself to the committee? Are you being real? Are you sharing your unique stories? I think that plays a huge role. So I would say focus on, building your resume, building yourself, extra outside of the classroom, inside the classroom. So building yourself at an early start and creating that portfolio for yourself.
That's a really important thing because yesterday we had a conversation webinar for the Quest Bridge program, and all three recipients said, I mean, both recipients, Maya and Olivia, talked about your grade's important, but that's not the only thing. You have to show up as somebody who is authentic. You have to show up as somebody with passions. You want to talk a little about that, Maya?
Yeah, as much as grades are important, there's a lot of people that have good grades. So it's not something that's like, sets you apart, I guess, but it's something that's already expected of you by some of these colleges and institutions, and even scholarship, I guess, just scholarships that you're applying to. So I would just say to make yourself look as well-rounded, show that you're using the time that you have in high school to join clubs and participate in your community, meet new people, help out in your community, like through being a Brace Cadet. Just explore your interests, explore what's offered at your school. If they have any magnet programs for like medicine, if they have any for computer and coding, engineering and stuff like that, to explore as much as you can at your school and participate as much as you can in your community, just to make yourself like look as authentic as possible, and not just like someone that they're looking at numbers, like your rank, your GPA, how many AP classes you took, but who you are as a person.
I love that. Thank you so much. We have one question. Miss Carol, I'm going to need you, but I think I have the answer. This our participant says, thank you for organizing this event. We're a family of immigrants. My wife and I attended colleges in Brazil, but our kids will apply for colleges here in the US. Are they considered first gen? I think so. Miss Carol, you want to add to that? Clarify?
I think that everybody has their own story of, you know, where college is going to take them and where it's coming from. But if you are considered first generation if your parents
in this country. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if your parents graduated somewhere else, so you are considered first generation. Now, some colleges and universities will ask you for more clarification, but most likely the definition is if your parents graduated from a different country, you will be considered first gen.
Awesome. I don't see any other questions in the chat. Go ahead. I don't see any other questions. I think what I'd like us to do right now, think about Maya, Melitia, and Huguette. Think about a little sister or a little brother who wants to be successful but doesn't know exactly how. I want to give you a chance to give them your tips for success. Maybe we start with you, Huguette.
Yeah, I have 3 things. The first thing, try to step out of your comfort zone. I know it's not easy, but try to. The second thing is, do not be afraid to ask for help or ask questions. And the third thing is, once you start learning about different things, different process, start putting these things into action at an early start and start putting yourself out there. Start to build your network at an early start.
I love that. How about you, Maya?
I would say that the sky is the limit, because you never know where life could take you. Like, I never expected that I'd ever get into the school that I'm going to. So I would just say, like you guys said, to put yourself out there no matter what. Like, you never know what opportunities may come your way. And I would say to take advantage of everything that's presented to you. I know I keep saying that, but it's really important to not overlook even the smallest bit of scholarships, because even the scholarship that I applied to that gave me a college advisor really helped, because that college advisor helped me stay on track with my applications in the midst of all the senior year activities, the homework, and all the testing that's going on in senior year. So I would just take advantage of everything and not limit yourself to where you think you could get in, what you think you're qualified for. And yeah, that's what I would recommend to a little sibling.
Awesome. Thank you, Melitia.
I would say it starts with reading and writing. You could do all the good in the world, but if you don't know how to read or write, it can't take you as far as you want it to take you. So take those advanced level courses with writing and reading because it takes you a long way. And as far as management, it's all about managing. Be able to accept what you can do in your load, not what you think somebody else can handle, what you can handle, because that is what makes you different from other people. And step out of your comfort zone, just as Huguette said, step out of it, but also be wiseful of the management that you have to go through too. So sometimes you might have to turn down some stuff. You can't go out today. You got homework to do. You got to read. You got to exam. Always remember those things that you have to do.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And we are at the end of our time for tonight. We want to thank Mr. Paul Martin. Remember, he's with College Money Method, and his organization helps students and families with the financial aid process. It's a private business, but he's always ever so generous with us as Brace Cadets and with our College and Career Corner meetings. We want you to know that next week, we will also be having our College and Career Corner, and we will be focusing on, next week, Ms. Carol, we are focusing on your financial aid letter. Award letters. So primarily, even if you're not in a senior yet, this is something good for you to know about. And then on the 16th, mark that on your calendar, we are going to have a blowout night with our FAFSA live event where we help students live. We are virtual, but we are helping students in the moment, giving step-by-step directions to complete their FAFSA. Because do you know that FAFSA is the primary, single most important indicator of who is going to be going to college? Not the college application, it's the FAFSA. So we want to make sure all our kids are ready for this. And we want to thank you for being here tonight. We want to thank our amazing panelists for sharing with us so generously all that they know and they experienced. And until next week, we will see you. Miss Carol, did you want to add anything?
You got it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all of the students, Mr. Paul. Again, please remember that this is recorded. So tell your friends if somebody needs to see it. We just want to make sure that we give you guys all the information that you need for your college and career success.
And you can follow our students or Brace Cadets. They post a lot of information at Brace Cadets on Instagram, at Brace Cadets. So everybody have a great night, and we will see you next week.